As they prepare to blow the final whistle on the 2026 World Cup, a sense of relief is settling over true football fans across the globe. We can finally look away. This tournament has been a thoroughly dreary, forgettable affair, lacking the magic that once defined the beautiful game. There have been no breakout geniuses to capture our collective imagination, no legendary squads playing football seemingly from another planet. Instead, this World Cup will be remembered for one thing only: the complete and utter triumph of the cheat. The dishonesty hasn't been subtle. We've watched athletes in peak physical condition flinging themselves to the turf, clutching their faces in feigned agony. We've seen grown men paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week contesting every single throw-in and corner decision with furious, wide-eyed indignation. And the low point of this tournament, the moment that officially stripped the competition of any remaining dignity, was the farcical suspension of a red card following the personal intervention of the American President Donald Trump. It's a grotesque spectacle that tainted the entire tournament, proving that even the most basic rules of sport can be bent if you have friends in high enough places. It was the ultimate high-profile stitch-up, but it merely reflected the rot that was already festering on the pitch. Throughout the tournament, dishonesty has been given entirely free rein. The most baffling part of this modern tragedy is that the cheating continues to flourish despite an unprecedented level of surveillance. Each match is captured by dozens of high-definition cameras from every conceivable angle. We have video assistant referees scrutinising every pixel. Some matches have been overseen by an army of up to 9 match officials. Yet the deceit has gone largely unpunished. The technology hasn't stopped the deception, it's merely provided a slow-motion replay of our collective tolerance for it. To make matters worse, the football establishment has fully normalised this behaviour. Television pundits and commentators now discuss cheating as a legitimate tactical skill rather than a moral failing. The language used to describe these acts depends entirely on the shirt the player's wearing. When an opposition player collapses to the ground holding their shin after zero physical contact, they're rightly condemned as a diver and a cheat. When an England player executes the exact same theatrical plunge, the commentary team marvels at how they cleverly engineered a free kick or brilliantly won the team a penalty. We've rebranded cheating as craftsmanship. The utter absurdity of this theatrical weeping was laid bare by the most genuine, stomach-churning injury of the tournament. When a Canadian player suffered a leg break, he handled his excruciating pain with minimal fuss. Meanwhile, a few matches later, a player who'd received nothing more than a gentle nudge in the back rolled across the grass 5 times, screaming as if he was being subjected to medieval torture. The contrast was stark, embarrassing, and deeply telling. We've cultivated a sporting culture where genuine agony is met with stoicism, while fraudulent suffering is rewarded with a set piece. The World Cup has proved that if you allow cheating to go unchallenged for long enough, it ceases to be an anomaly. It becomes part of the fabric of the game itself. And that depressing reality is not confined to the football pitch. The very same rot has infected the demolition and construction industry, where cheating has been institutionalised to an extraordinary degree. In our world, the stakes are much higher than a penalty kick, but the playbook is largely identical. Bid rigging, cartels, market collusion, anti-competitive practices are treated by the major players as key business strategies rather than serious offences. In this sector, the big players regularly stitch up their local rivals, starve subcontractors of cash through late or completely withheld payments. They bend safety regulations and they exploit their workforce. Much like the footballers disputing a clear throw-in, these corporate executives know exactly what they're doing. They understand the rules they're breaking, yet they proceed with a smug confidence, knowing that the system is geared to protect them. Occasionally, the authorities step in. There's fines, of course, which are handed out with a modest amount of media fanfare, but these financial penalties are treated merely as a tax on doing business, a predictable overhead easily absorbed into astronomical profit margins. There are no wider, no more meaningful sanctions. No one goes to prison, and no company is barred from bidding for lucrative public contracts. If a firm is large enough, wealthy enough, and sufficiently well connected, its reputation as an elite player remains completely untarnished by a track record of systemic corruption. They're deemed too big to fail, too important to be sidelined. Unlike football, the construction industry doesn't have the pretense of VAR. There's no independent body reviewing the footage in slow motion to ensure fair play. Frankly, even if such a system did exist, the outcome would be no different. The corporate giants would simply lobby the regulators, pull the necessary political levers, and ensure the decisions were overturned to protect their own interests. It would be the presidential red card intervention all over again, but played out in boardrooms and on sites. We've built a world where the honest competitor is treated as a fool. Whether on the turf of a World Cup stadium or the muddy expanse of a major construction site, the message is loud and clear. Play by the rules and you'll be left behind by those who don't. The system doesn't care about integrity, it cares about the result. It's a bleak, undeniable truth of our modern age that cheats don't just get away with it, cheats prosper.